Get your stinking paws off me, you damn dirty ape!
Is that a monkey?
Where are the gorillas?
Nice monkey suit.
With the help of this chimp, we may have a championship season.
Monkey!
It's like I'm talking to a monkey.
No one wants to be turned into a monkey.
Apes together.
Stress.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Cinemonkey. It's been too long, but this is a movie podcast where we talk about monkeys in media, sapiens in cinema, and today I'm joined by a returning guest of the podcast.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Thomas.
Thank you.
And you texted me one day. You were like, listen, I'm on a marathon of a particular type of movie. And that type of movie are the James Bond franchise. And you said, hey, there's monkeys in one of my personal favorites, The Living Daylights. We're talking about Timothy Dalton's first James Bond film, The Living Daylights. What about this movie appeals to you so much?
Unfortunately, it's not the monkeys.
Well, we'll talk about them.
We'll talk about the monkeys.
It's light.
It is. It's what, 4 shots? What appeals to me about it, in short, is Timothy Dalton is the closest we ever got to a Bond like books. I will die on that hill. The Living Daylights kind of combines all of that great stuff, all the great book material with the cinematic material. I think it's the best balance of the two mediums. So Living Daylights is a great intersection of those for me. And thank God it has monkeys. Now we can talk about it.
Thank God it has monkeys. The Living Daylights was made in 1987, and it was directed by John Glenn, written by Richard Maybaum and Michael G. Wilson, who I just learned is the stepson of Albert Broccoli, who has produced the film. Fun fact about the Broccolis, they claim to have invented broccoli, and that's where they got their massive fortune back.
Very true. So true.
And the movie stars Timothy Dalton, Mayim Daebro, Joe Don Baker, Art Malik, Jerome Krabe, wow, I'm butchering these names, and Jonathan Rhys Davies, who you got a fun story about him. We'll talk about that a little bit later. So, yeah, let's just jump into it. So this movie opens up. James Bond is nowhere to be seen. There's just some sort of fun and games happening at some sort of MI6 base.
In Gibraltar.
They're in Gibraltar.
Yeah. First
First guy goes around and he gets shot with a paintball. And he goes, oh, yeah, you've been killed. Ha ha ha. And I was like, that's an interesting way to start this, where it's just, it's literally a paintball match.
Stakes are low.
Yeah, stakes are low. And this paintball match goes on. Some more agents are caught. And then all of a sudden, one of the agents is caught and he gets shot with a paintball. And they're like, oh, gotcha. And then this guy pulls out a real gun and just shoots him dead. I was like, damn.
The stakes are high now.
The stakes are high.
Stakes have changed.
And then this guy goes around and he starts slowly killing some of these MI6 boys. And then you said this is the best introduction to James Bond.
It's one of my favorites of like a new Bond, because every new Bond has that shot, the first shot that they're into the movie, and it's like a big intro scene. I think we talked about it more, has one of the less awesome ones where it's just him in bed with a woman.
Yeah.
Which I guess is Giga Chad behavior from 1973, but Timothy Dalton has the best, in my opinion. Just the slow zoom in on him looking a little jarred by the fact that his friend just fell off a cliff.
Yes. The guy who's going around killing everybody, one of the MI6 agents is like climbing up this rope, and then a message slides down the rope and he's like, oh, what is this? And the guy just slices the rope and the guy falls off of this cliff. And James Bond is like, oh, that shouldn't have happened, basically. And so James Bond kind of makes his way up, tries to figure out what's going on. One of the guys with the paintball guns shoots at this rogue car that's going, and I'm like, I remember we just watched this moments ago, and I was like, that's crazy. You thought you could stop a car with a paintball, and paints this car pink, and the car slams into him. Kills that guy.
Kills him. Presume dead.
Well, no, he's dead. He's dead. But so James Bond kind of fails at this mission, and while the car is on a wild chase This is where we see our good pals, the monkeys.
Yes.
And the monkeys are just kind of getting out of the way.
Yeah, the monkeys are freaked. The homeostasis of their habitat has been disrupted.
Yeah, and they kind of just sidestep.
Yeah.
And then they duck.
Or jump.
And
There's
jump.
one where they jump.
And then that's about it. And then the monkeys are like, none of my business.
None of my business, yeah.
We're going to move on from here. They do this little car chase. The guy gets away. And
No, he doesn't. He blows up.
does he blow up?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it's the same.
No. This guy blows up because the guy. Guys, I've seen this movie 6 times, but no, the dynamite in the back gets lit up by the car.
Yes.
And then James Bond like parachutes off the back of it.
Oh,
it blows
listen,
up midair.
a lot of stuff happens. in
It's
this
a long movie. It's a 2-hour and 10-minute movie. And they throw a lot at you.
There's a lot of. There's some crazier stuff in the back
Yes,
half of this movie
it's
that
so
I was.
true.
Listen, the beginning is nothing compared to. I was just whoa. Anyway, so James Bond parachutes off the back. The guy dies, as I've been corrected, and we cut to the title sequence, I believe, right after this.
Of Aha's.
And Aha sings
Living
The
Daylights.
Living Daylights. It sounds like a 80s
Yep.
glam. It's kind of a boring intro compared to some of the others.
You mean like visually?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's just kind of like, all right, let's play the hits here.
That was Albert Broccoli's. I don't know what his obsession was with like holographic images, but A View to a Kill does this in the intro, and so does Octopussy, where they do this superimposed like dot form of 007, and it's like projected onto. I don't know why they like that.
Yeah, and I mean, like, it's fine. It's okay.
Yeah.
But, like, it's all the cliches you would think a James Bond intro would have,
Yeah.
but, like, looks a little cheaper for some reason.
A little bit, yeah.
It's
The
like,
effect went to the explosion at the end.
yeah.
They crash a lot of planes.
They crash a lot of stuff in this movie. A lot of explosions. James Bond is then in a KGB office of some sort. And he's, we see him kind of mid-mission here.
Yeah.
And he's going around, he's extracting this guy who's trying to defect. And there's this woman that's helping him out, and
We don't know that yet.
oh, well, that this woman is
Helping him out. Yeah.
I'm talking about the other Russian woman who's just like, put him in the tube.
Oh, so true. There is the Russian woman in the tube. That's true.
Yeah,
That's
so
true.
there's this Russian woman that's helping him.
She looks like Coach Beast from Glee.
They take this guy to the tube, and because Russia has a gas line.
Yeah, it's a
Apparently-
pipeline to the west.
And they're like, hey, get in this tube, wear this mask. And the guy's like, how many times have you tested this? And James Bond's like, you're the first. And
It's a
then
great line.
And then he immediately closes it and just shoves him into this, what looks like basically like if you go to the bank, like one of those suction mail tubes, and they just shove the guy in and then they send him off. And in order to distract this woman's supervisor, she breaks into the supervisor's room and just starts stripping for the man.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then shoves this man into her boobs.
Yep.
While all of these alarms are going off.
Lights up like a Christmas tree.
Yeah, lights up like a Christmas tree. And then we hear the rattling and shaking of the mail tube. With
Some of
the
those
man.
turns should have killed him. I'll be honest.
Oh, yeah, no, it's
Like,
not.
A couple of those turns were brutal.
This wasn't tested.
No.
And then he winds up in Vienna?
In Austria.
In Austria, yeah. And he meets Q there.
Yes.
And Q's like, hey, buddy, get on out of here.
Yeah.
And the guy's like,
He
that
does
was
say that.
crazy. That was wild. And then James Bond tries to get out of the situation. The woman who was stripping is like, listen, I'm not that type of woman. And the guy's like really
He
confused.
does say that, yeah.
Her boss is like, what? I don't even know what just happened. And we never see her again.
That's true. Would love a spin-off about her.
Yeah, absolutely. What has this lady been up to?
What's she been up to since?
And so James Bond knows that there's a sniper that's trying to snipe the defector, the asset.
Yes.
And he sees this. He sees her lining up the shot, and James has her in his sights, and he's like, well, nah. And he winds up just shooting her gun, which makes it basically malfunction.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, why didn't you just kill her? He goes, made a snap-second decision. It's going to be okay. Don't worry about it. And everyone's kind of mad at him because
Yeah.
they're like, you didn't kill a lady.
Yeah.
You should kill this woman that was trying to shoot him.
Yeah.
And he's like, don't worry about it. It's fine. And then they go on a little chase. and he runs through the streets of Austria.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And he makes it away.
Yeah.
They did it. Mission complete.
Yes.
Movie over.
Movie over for now?
Movie over. And they get to MI6 and there's a little house that he shows up with, and he brings a picnic basket.
Yeah.
There's some fun gadgets all around. There's a rake that's a satellite.
Yeah. Love that.
When you think of James Bond, this is the movie I think of, where it's just like he's taking it very seriously, but everything around him is just insane and crazy. It's like everyone just accepts that, and the movie like we were discussing this before, the movie plays it very straight.
Yes.
And this movie could have been silly. It could have been a Roger Moore film. It could have been later Brosnan movies.
Oh, yeah.
It could have been even late Connery, where it's just, again, it's silly. And there are silly things that happen, and he does quip throughout the movie. But for the most part, it's pretty grounded.
Yeah.
Like, most of the technology in it is mostly real.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know how else to describe it, but like it's pretty serious for a James Bond film. Not as serious as a Craig movie.
No.
Not as serious as like Casino Royale.
No.
But it's
lays
more
the foundation.
serious of the Bond films, I would say.
Yeah.
So he's at this MI6 base, and they learn that the message that the guy originally, the defector, threw down was death to spies.
Yes. And had a list.
Yes, and there's a list of all the Western spies, all the double O's, American boys, and so on.
And NATO.
And they have the defector. Bond is ordered to track down this guy, Pushkin, in Tangier, and kill him to stop these agents from being killed and causing a larger issue. Disaster. This is also in the height of the Cold War.
Yep.
So Russia and America not getting along so well.
Yeah.
This is interesting space. The tensions, let's say, are high.
Yes.
So Bond's like, yeah, all right, whatever. I'll go kill whoever. I'll kill the woman, I guess.
Yeah.
And they're like, Bond, you should kill that lady. And he was like, fine. I'll go kill him. Fine. So Bond goes back to Austria.
Well, also the defector. Defector gets.
Oh,
taken
yes.
back.
So the defector.
Milk bomb.
My favorite scene. How could I forget this? So while Bond is learning about all these things, there's a guy who looks awfully similar to Drago from Rocky IV.
He does look like him.
Blonde hair, blue eyes.
Jacked.
And he's secretly strangling people with a headphone rope.
Yeah.
While the music is playing.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's crazy.
Love the little soundtrack.
Yeah. And so like he strangles them to death, and he does this like 3 or 4 times. He
does. Kills a lot of people on his way in.
He kills a milkman. And then the milkman, he takes his disguise. Guy breaks into the house, disguised as the milkman, and he has a little fight in the kitchen with, I guess, one of the agents there.
Yeah.
And burns that guy's face, winds up killing him. And then another guy walks in, and he's like, all right, whatever. And then he takes out one of the milk bottles and just chucks it. And I was like, what could this be? Was it just a distraction? No, it's a bomb. And it explodes. And it's crazy. He does this about 4 times.
He does it a lot.
Where he just keeps chucking these milk bottles. And it's just, I'm like, this is certainly the silliest part of the movie.
Oh, yeah.
And he chucks these milk bottles. They explode. And I was just like wondering, I was like, how much effort did he put in to like make these?
Oh, dude,
like,
there's a lot of plastic explosives and a lot of milk bottles.
And a lot of milk?
Yeah.
Like, it sloshes.
Oh, yeah.
And so James is like, what the fuck is happening? What the hell is happening here?
Very, very shocked.
And he starts running around, finds the guy. They have a bit of a scuffle, but they get away.
Yep.
And he gets away with
the defector.
With the defector. And they're like, oh man, this is the biggest upset. We're going to be the laughing stock of all the nations. We let our guy go.
James Bond fails a lot at the beginning of this movie.
Yeah.
He's a big failure, which is awesome.
A lot of guys die on his watch.
Yeah.
Guy gets taken on his watch. Ah, man, well, what is he going to do? Well, he decides he's going to go back to Vienna. He knows that there's this lady.
Yep.
So he finds out that there's this lady that she plays cello in the orchestra. And she is seeing the defector. They're somewhat of an item.
Somewhat.
Somewhat of an item. And James is like, hey, I'm friends with your guy. Let's hang out. I'll take you away. We'll get out of the country. And James is being watched at this point in time. There's people closing in around him. They set up a little ruse where the lady puts her cello case and puts a little disguise, and as a tram goes by, she sneaks into his car, and as they're driving away, she's like, hey, I gotta get my priceless cello. And he's just like, listen, lady, we gotta go. We're not going back for your cello. Cut to they're back for her cello. And you said this makes
one of my favorite
Dalton your
moments.
favorite.
Yeah, that he's nice.
Yeah,
he's like a nice guy.
He's a good for the most part, he's a good
Mostly.
dude. He's cold. He's not as misogynist.
No.
There's one thing he does a little bit later that I'm like, that's a choice.
Oh, the clothes ripping?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's a pretty brutal, brutal scene.
At one point, he rips the clothes off a lady to distract the guard.
Yeah. It works.
It works.
It works.
A
little rough.
A little rough.
A little jarring.
But for James Bond, we're going to give him a pass.
We'll give this one an A-.
An A-. Not as misogynistic as most James Bonds, including the motto. Including Craig.
Very true.
So the Soviets are chasing after them, and they are in the middle of the mountains somewhere, and they got to get away. The Soviets are closing in, so James ditches his car. Does he crash the car? I don't remember.
He crashes it into the shed, and they drive it onto the ice, and they blow it out of the shed, and then they pop the tires, and then
I'm forgetting all the best parts of this with all the gadgets and stuff. So so like he drives his sanctioned car through a shed, drives through the shed like onto this big ice pond,
lake,
and the Russians are after them in taxi cabs and everything, and they're shooting at
tanks.
them. Tanks show up.
Yeah,
James just like they shoot one of the tires out of his car, and he goes, I know exactly what to do. And he starts driving in circles around the taxi cab. I'm like, what could this be? And this just cuts the ice, and the taxi cab basically falls into the ice. James then presses a button on the car, which makes skis appear.
Yeah.
And the skis allow them to traverse the land, but then they wind up losing the car.
Yeah, they go flying off of a cliff, and they crash into a tree.
And so
they self-destruct.
Yes, he does self-destruct because you said poor Q.
Yeah, God, yeah. Q never hits a break.
Speaking of Q, jumping back a little bit. When Bond meets Q earlier in the movie, the first thing Q shows him is this boombox that fires a rocket from it.
Yep.
When you play music, and Q calls it the urban missile,
the ghetto blaster.
The ghetto blaster.
The ghetto blaster. Yeah.
I was like, yeah, cool.
Oh, this movie came out in 1987.
Cool, Q. That's not problematic at all.
He's old.
He's old for 1987. This man is ancient.
That guy saw 2 world wars. So
this guy's been around.
Yeah.
He's seen plenty.
Oh, yeah.
But back to the ice. Oh, another fun moment I skipped over is when they start this car chase, James Bond presses a laser button, and this laser just kind of swipes the bottom of the car, and I was like, what is he? Is he going to pop a tire? And he makes them brake, so the front of the entire front of the car, actually the whole top of the car, just slides off of the wheels. Yeah. And then the guys are like, we don't know. We don't know what happened. So the car chase continues up the mountain. We mentioned the sliding into the ice and
the tree.
People falling and crashing into the tree. And another crazy moment happens where he takes the cello case, snaps it in half basically, and then they ride the cello case down the mountain, and he steers with the cello, and he's doing his very best to keep the cello in the best condition it could possibly be, but also trying to keep them alive. And at one point, the cello gets shot, and he goes, "Oops, I'm sorry about that. My mistake. Sorry. Oops." And James, he takes out his passport, and he's like, "Wave this passport around. They'll let you right into Austria."
Yeah.
And they do. He like throws the cello into the air, ducks under the guard booth bar, and then catches the cello. I was like, "That's sick."
Great scene, yeah. And he has one of my favorite lines where he's like, "We have nothing to declare." Love that line.
And they slide right into Vienna, and the Russians are like, "Guess we can't chase them into Vienna. Game over."
Headless horseman behavior. Can't cross that bridge.
Yeah. Well, it's too late. Fun fact about this scene is apparently one of the snow guards that is chasing them is Barbara Broccoli, who would go on to take over the franchise and sadly sell it to Amazon.
Yep.
But make your money, Barbara. Make that $1 billion.
Look, man, if it had to be for any number, at least it was $1 billion.
It was over $1 billion. They're hanging out in Vienna. James Bond takes her to the opera. He takes her to
The roller coaster.
He takes her to the carnival while
Bond
they're
is
in
fun.
full,
Yeah.
he's in a full tuxedo and they're just on one of those like tilt-a-whirl type
Yeah.
things. They go into the Ferris wheel and he's supposed to have a rendezvous at that point because the guy's like, "I'll meet you outside the Ferris wheel."
Yeah.
And he goes on the the roller coaster. It's so weird to see James Bond like smiling and having a good time.
Yeah.
Because most of the time he's very serious. He's a very serious spy, or he's seducing someone. He's just hanging out.
just giggling.
He's just having a good time with this lady that he just met 2 days ago. They're best buds.
Yep.
And they go all the way around on the Ferris wheel and they open up the Ferris wheel door and the Viennans are like, "Do you want to go another round?" Because they've been making out.
He's got her, yeah.
And now you said that like contrary to other Bonds.
Ah, yes.
This one, as you said, is more accurate because he
Yes.
falls in love pretty quickly.
Yes, he's
To the books.
monogamous. That's the thing about Dalton. People complain he's too monogamous, and I have to say that's the best part about it. So if you read the books, he falls in love with every single woman he meets. Like, he sees somebody, lays eyes on him, and is like, "I see our future together." And then it's like, "No, she's taken." And he's like, "Damn." And the next book comes around, and he's like, "Ooh, man, we could really make something together." And it's like, "No, she's a double agent." You know, it's just every single time it's not happening, dude. You're in the wrong business. But he's a lover.
Yeah, he's a lover. Falls for her pretty quickly. She seems to be falling for him. It's nice.
Yeah.
It's a nice time. She does have a boyfriend, but we could get past
It's James Bond. He doesn't care.
it. No, he doesn't care one bit.
You know.
While after their little hangout sesh,
Sure.
make out
Fun
on
montage,
the, fun
montage.
montage, make out on the Ferris wheel. It's time to get down to business.
Yeah. He's been waiting for his friend to show up.
Yeah, and so his buddy shows up.
Gives him a message.
Yeah, what's the message of?
And the message is like, this is who it is the guy that we're after, and they've been targeting other...
Yeah, so they open it up and they see the pictures of Jonathan Rhys Davies,
You have to go after this guy.
who is a Russian
Yep.
general. Fun new role for him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, very new.
Very fun new role for Jonathan Rhys Davies. And in case you don't know who Jonathan Rhys Davies is, he's Sala in Indiana Jones and
Gimli.
in Lord of the Rings. He's really fun actor. He just kind of plays a similar role. You want to tell your Jonathan Rhys Davies story?
I met him at a con once, and really nice guy. Like, genuinely one of the nicest guys I've ever met. But I had watched... You'll never guess, The Living Daylights, because I've seen this movie so many times, the night before. And I told him, I said, "Mister, I just watched you in The Living Daylights last night, loved you." And he laughed and said, "Ha ha ha, new clothes, same role, you know, the job." I was like, "Yeah, I do."
Did he ask if you wanted to talk to him about Indiana Jones?
That's true, yeah. And then he was like, "Would you like to talk about Lord of the Rings?" And I was like, "No, I liked that a lot when I was 12, but I haven't seen it in a while." And he was like, "What about Indiana Jones?" Nah. Wasn't a fan of Dial of Destiny, man. Sorry.
I just want to talk about Bond.
Yeah.
And he did not want to talk about
Didn't
Bond.
really care, no.
Not a very exciting role for him, but he's got a fun role in this. James Bond infiltrates his hotel room.
Yeah.
James Bond is just like hiding behind his door.
Yeah.
And he just like shoves him onto the bed and he's like, "Hey, cut that out. I need to kill you," or whatever. It was like, and then
Some banter.
Yeah, some banter back and forth. They seem to have some sort of history with one another,
yeah.
as he tends to have with these kinds of guys. Then there's a knock on the door and someone's coming. So James Bond violently rips this woman's shirt off and just kind of shoves her to the door. And then he's hiding like to the side of the door where he was when he first infiltrated Jonathan Rhys-Davies' room and just kills this guy. And then he's just...
No, he knocks him out.
Does he just knock him out?
It's violent. It's a really violent knockout, because when I was a kid, I thought he died too. So I was like, whew, there's no getting up from that. But no, he just knocks him out really hard. Like brain damage. But like, he's not dead.
he just really hits him.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, that was a hit.
Brutal. That was brutal. Yeah. Only James Bond could pull that hide behind the door trick twice in a row and get away with it.
In this movie, I found it interesting that they like to repeat things.
Yeah.
Like there's the assassin that kills people with his headphones.
Yeah.
He does that like 3 times.
Yeah.
And we see it. And it's not like there's like a long period of time where it's like, he's doing the thing again. He does it like immediately right after. And James Bond does the exact same thing with this trick where he's just like, I'll just hide behind this door.
There's a little bit of realism to that, though, I guess, that like, he's a spy and what works for him works for him, so he's gonna do it again. Like, a movie would have him do so he would like hide on the ceiling as like Spider-Man or something, But like, he's a spy. He's gonna do what works.
Yeah, he's just like, well, there's the door.
Yeah,
and that
people won't see me.
People don't seem to look behind the door.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna hide here and knock this guy out.
Why change your method? Same with the headphones guy. What am I gonna do? Throw a knife at him this time?
Jumping back, I forgot because there's so much that happens this movie.
There's a lot.
And there's this when James Bond is having fun when he meets his friend for the rendezvous. Mm-hmm. This is an insane scene as well. They're at like this little diner place, and the guy gives him the file or whatever, and they find out that Jonathan Rhys-Davies is the guy they have to go to, and the assassin guy who does the headphones and whatnot,
the milk
bombs and such. He rigs this little thing up to the sliding door. And James Bond's friend walks right into the sliding door. And as he does that, this guy detonates the sliding door. And I didn't realize what happened here. I thought he just walked into a sliding door. But apparently, this man gets sliced in half by the sliding door. Basically. And James Bond is like, ugh. Like, he's got his head in his hands. He's like, oh, what if I could have saved you. But you just kind of see a little bit of blood and like some bullet holes in
you see the glass is cracked and there's a lot of blood on it, and you see the bottom part of his leg.
Yeah, and I was just like, I don't understand this. And you're like, oh, you should have seen the original.
The original cut was supposed to be a lot more graphic.
Yeah, where this man was sliced in half.
Really, yeah.
Jonathan Rhys-Davies, jumping back to him and his little story, he's like, well, listen, I can't give you anything, so I guess I'm gonna die.
Well, yeah, so because he backed out previously of a deal with an American mercenary.
Have you seen this?
Gun sales? Yes, we had seen him right before the meeting. Yeah.
So there's this guy.
There's this guy. Introduce new guy.
Yeah. Jonathan Rhys-Davies meets this guy and he goes to this big grand house.
Yep.
And they walk through and the first thing you see is a wax bust of Hitler and then Genghis Khan and Napoleon. And he's the most American Texas man you've ever heard.
Yeah, you'd actually hear him again in other Bond movies as a different character.
And he's just like, yeehaw, basically. Man, I'm going to sell you all these guns. And he's like, great, well, sure. Sell me these guns. And he's got little war tables and he's like, I'm going to be the best general you've ever seen. And he seems to be a defective general from
basically, yeah. He's like, the Iran-Contra affair was cool in my book. That's basically what he says. But Rhys-Davies says no to the money.
Yeah, and so Rhys-Davies doesn't take the deal. He's basically setting himself up to die. James Bond learns this at this meeting between him while he's threatening him on the bed
with
a gun. We immediately smash cut to some sort of press conference, this big event, Jonathan Rhys-Davies is giving this speech, and the assassin that we've seen several times before, he's lining up the shot, and then we hear 4 gunshots go off, or 3 gunshots go off, and the light pans over, and it's James Bond. James Bond shot him, and it's like, what is going on here? And Jonathan Rhys-Davies is bleeding out, and he's dying, and the medics come in, and James Bond's like, God, get out of here, just killed this guy. And he starts running on the roofs of these Middle Eastern town, or Tangier. And He's running around. People are shooting at him. He's making his way through. The assassin's just trying to get out because he's just like, well, my job's done. My job's done. Didn't realize I had to do that. Great. And James Bond runs off these roofs. And apparently in another deleted scene,
Yes.
he was going to grab a carpet. Float down.
But you can find this on YouTube. This
Yeah.
scene is on YouTube. It's called the magic carpet scene. And he jumps on a carpet and like rides down this wire on it, basically. It's a very Roger Moore kind of scene. You can tell they wanted to keep that comedy going, but it is kind of funny. I'm not
Yeah.
going to lie.
I mean, it's fun, but
I'll
like,
show it to you.
I haven't seen this clip yet, but in terms of the tone of the rest of this movie, it would
would
be
have
the
been
most
a
outlandish.
buzzkill.
There was a lot of outlandish stuff on the
yeah.
ice before.
Oh, yeah.
But,
It worked, it
I
worked.
guess, we can get away with it.
It's Bond.
Him riding a magic carpet
Yeah.
in Tangier down a rope,
Yeah.
maybe a stretch too far.
Yeah.
A little too silly.
Little.
But he basically has like a parkour chase.
Yeah.
on
pretty
the
much,
roofs.
Smacks someone with satellite.
Yeah, he swings off a satellite and it goes back and hits this guy in the face.
Classic
That's
movie
kind
moment.
of that's kind of the silliest thing that happens in this scene. James Bond gets away, and then we find out that Jonathan Rhys-Davies was it was a setup. Jonathan Rhys-Davies had squibs on him. He takes off the shirt. He goes, "This is the first time in my life. Thank God James Bond was a great shot." So that him and the Soviets, they're in cahoots together. Who would have thought?
Who'd have guessed?
Who would have guessed? I believe he finds out that the defector didn't really defect.
Yes.
And the defector actually is in cahoots with the general.
Yes.
And it was one big plan to get a bunch of opium
Yeah.
and diamonds and whatnot.
Money.
So they're embezzling from the government, and they're feeding everything into this little known country called Afghanistan. And I go,
Very 1987 movie.
Yes.
Very 1987 movie.
And
Very similar to Rambo 3.
Yeah.
If anybody's ever seen that.
they catch Bond while he was running through the streets.
Well, he does get caught. Yes.
Yeah, and with his new gal pal.
Yeah.
And
first, no, it's Felix Leiter.
oh, I forgot. Yes, so
That's when we find out about the Afghanistan stuff.
yes. So James Bond is he's gotten away. He's running through the streets, and these two sexy babes, they're just hanging out in this car, and he's like, "Hey, babies, you want to take me for a ride?" And they're like, "Yeah, get on in." And almost immediately they pull a gun on him, and he's like, "Do you want more money?" And they take him to a little boat.
Yeah.
And inside they meet. He meets Felix Leiter, his good old American CIA pal.
Who is not the guy that played him before.
Yeah, different dude
Different
apparently.
dude who never came back.
And
Nobody liked him.
Didn't like this Felix Leiter.
Didn't like him.
And he's like, "James, the Afghanis,
Basically.
And then he's like, "Get on out there." So he kicks him out. James Bond then gets kidnapped.
Yes,
and
he goes back to his lady friend,
Yeah, he goes back to his lady
who
friend.
is now believing the defector,
Yeah.
that we know is a liar.
Yeah, the love of her life
Yeah.
isn't James Bond. It's this other guy.
This is other guy.
And they kidnap him. They put him on a plane, and turns out they're smuggling diamonds
yeah.
with a heart.
Yeah.
And James Bond opens the thing, and he goes, "That's not a human heart." James, how do you know that? He also sees
reads a lot.
he sees the diamonds in the ice, and he was
Yeah.
like, "I don't understand this plan. They don't bring up this plan ever again."
True, not really. They vaguely mention it in regards to the opium, because it's like they're giving the diamonds to the Afghanis, I think. For the opium?
For the opium.
Yeah. So selling it to them, so that funds their fight against the Soviets.
Yeah.
Anyway. It's a Cold War thriller, guys. It shouldn't make sense.
It doesn't
shouldn't
make sense. And so James Bond is taken off the plane, and they're like, "We're gonna throw you in jail, James, for killing the general, and also your girlfriend is a defector. Get her in jail too."
Yeah.
So they take him to prison, or it's just like a
the
holding
local
cell.
jail, yeah.
There's another guy in there, and he's like, "Can I get out?" And the warden or whatever, the
All-timer line, honestly.
He's like, the warden's like, "Yeah, your appeal has been changed from a hanging to a shooting in the afternoon." And he's like, and a little laugh, and James Bond has a little gadget. He falls down.
He loves that gadget in these movies. I forgot how much he used that gadget.
Yeah, so Q gives him a gadget earlier in the movie where it looks like a little speaker.
Yeah.
And it has a key pick in it, and basically it'll explode if you do it. It has a gas in it and it'll explode. Oh, classic James Bond thing. It's not that exciting.
realistically, it's not, but he uses it a lot.
He does use it a lot. He gets a lot of mileage out of
does,
this
he does.
Swiss Army
He does.
speaker.
Yeah, yeah.
And he whistles. The speaker emits this gas, knocks one of the guards out. He gets out,
Quite a violent fight scene.
beats up the warden,
Yeah.
who I thought was gonna get stabbed through the face because
What?
there's
Yeah.
this big spike that they
Yeah.
keep cutting to.
Yes.
And then I was like, oh, his head is going straight through that,
Yeah.
and it doesn't.
No, there are a lot of fight scenes in this movie where they use weapons that would. It reminds me of the cheese grater scene from Tenet. That's like, wow, that was horrendous. But and they get so close to it in this, but because it's a 1987 PG movie, you're just left with the haunting feeling of what if
What if
someone had been killed by that?
what if this was R?
Because the milk bomb scene, he uses the meat cutter.
Oh yeah.
It's
He,
like grinding and everything. Whoa.
but you don't see it.
You don't see it.
You don't see it.
You don't see
It's
it.
pretty-
He doesn't kill anybody with it.
Yeah, he doesn't kill
It's
anybody.
unplugged. It's
He
unplugged.
he just kind of shoves the warden guy into a cell.
Into a cell, yeah.
And then he unlocks his handcuffs, and as he's leaving with his lady friend, he's like, the other guy in the prison is like, let me out too, and he's like, right. He throws him the keys, and they escape this prison together, this jail.
Yep.
And they jump over this like little cliff.
Yep.
And they land in the sand, and then all of these guys rise out of the sand, and you go, oh no, who are these guys? It's the Taliban.
they weren't that yet, but yeah.
But it's basically the Taliban.
It basically is, yeah.
And,
It's where, yeah.
and I'm like, uh-oh.
The Afghans.
And
We're here.
James Bond follows them
Yep.
to their secret Taliban town.
Yep. With a very inspiring ride-in, I have to say.
They're so excited to have their
excited to
boys
go-
back.
Yeah.
And they're firing their guns in the air, and they're
Yeah.
like, we did it. We got our main guy back. He's the leader of the Taliban. And
Yeah.
and they bring James Bond into this room, and the leader of the Taliban is like, hey, we're pals now. Me and you, James, we're buddies. They want to buy opium from us. And so,
Very dramatic monologue.
yeah,
Follows on about the opium,
yeah, and long monologue. They make it through. I'm trying to remember what happens after this.
They hang out in the town for a bit, and then they go after the Russian convoy, which is the general.
So then there's another, probably the most exciting fight scene, sequence in this movie.
Plane.
They start attacking the Russian convoy to get the opium and kind of take their stuff back. The assassins there, and they're using the Taliban, the good guys, quote
the good
unquote,
guys. The heroes.
are using any scrappy means necessary. They're using the RPGs and the assault weapons to attack this plane.
The Lost Ark, the commando battle.
Yeah, it's
We don't do them anymore.
it's pretty fun. Yeah, and
yeah.
as you said, it's like one army fighting against another army, and then James Bond is like hijacking a plane in the process.
He shoots a little bit. He gets a little bit of a shootout scene.
And but he mainly struggles to get the plane, the tire of a plane, this big cargo plane, over a little brick.
It was like me when I heard a parallel park, honestly.
Yeah, it's just him like backing up slowly then going forward, and he's like, man. And then eventually he gets it over, and he starts heading down the runway. The assassin guy is chasing after him, and the lady, this Russian lady, she's following him too. I wish I knew her name. I don't. I could find it. They don't really say it a lot.
She beats the crap out of a couple of guys though.
Yeah. Oh, her name is Kara. So Kara, the Russian best friend of James Bond, we'll call her the best friend at the moment.
Sure.
Pal, gal pal,
interest.
love
Yeah,
pal,
gal pal. Yeah, love pal.
love pal. They're running. She's in a Humvee, and James Bond is like giving her directions through the window, being like, "Get in the cargo. You could drive the thing through the cargo." And she figures it out pretty quickly. I was like, "She's scrappy. She's smart."
I like her.
Yeah, she's a pretty fun. She's a fun one.
I liked her.
She's one of the good ones, James. Maybe you can marry this gal.
Yeah. This would be the one.
This would be the one. She's the one, James.
She's the one.
She's not the one.
No, there was only one, and she died many, many years.
She gets this Humvee onto the plane. They start to take off, and the assassin guy, he jumps onto the plane. There's a door open on the side of the plane. He jumps on. James is like, I gotta take care of this. So they open the cargo bay, and they have a fight scene on the cargo bay of this cargo plane that's flying through the air. You see the cargo net basically flapping in the air. If you've ever played Uncharted 3
Yes,
or have
very
seen
similar.
the movie Uncharted starring Tom Holland,
Maybe not that hard.
but
It happens.
heavy inspiration
Yeah.
I can see coming from this movie in particular.
yeah.
They're having a fight. The assassin is hanging onto James Bond's boot, and James is like, I got a simple solution to this. And he just cuts his shoelaces off, and the boot flies off, and the guy just kind of falls from the sky.
Yeah.
And he dies. The henchman dies. Pretty tame way to kill a henchman.
Kind of
But
similar
it's
to Octopussy.
realistic.
It is real. No, it is. It is, and also ironic because that's the first kill that is made in the movie. Is
it?
MI6 agents drops to the
Oh,
bottom of the
yes,
cliff.
correct. So he got his comeuppance.
Yeah. Well, the same guy, but same people.
Yeah,
same crew.
so the Russians get their comeuppance where the guy falls from the sky.
He's not like a Soviet though because he works for the general, right? So he's like a semi-defected Soviet.
Yeah,
guys, it's a Cold War thriller. It's not
looks
supposed to make
like-
sense.
He looks like Drago.
He does, yeah.
He is, in all intents and purposes, he is
the
Drago.
Russian. He is the Russian.
He doesn't really speak ever.
Except instead of in Rocky IV where he's like, maybe we can be friends, he dies.
Yeah, he falls from the sky because they're in the air. Another great quip. James Bond gets back to the front of the cargo plane and he talks to Kara and he's like, she's like, oh, what happened? He was like, I gave him the boot, which is literally what happened. He gave him his boot.
Kind of looks at it on his way down. He's like, what is this?
Yeah, the guy's like, well, I got a boot. Can I parachute with this? Nah. So as he's falling from the sky, James Bond learns that they've shot our gas tank. We're not making it to Pakistan, baby. And so he's trying to figure out a solution, and there's not much what they could do. So they somehow get the plane to go really low to the ground.
Yep.
They were really high up and then instantly really low. And then he gets into the Humvee that she lightly drove into the plane.
Pretty expertly,
and they
yeah.
just kind of back off and make a little crash. And as he this part made me uncomfortable. As they land in their Humvee, the plane, obviously with no pilot, just kind of flies and explodes into the side of the mountain. And then all of the Taliban cheer. They go, yay, we did it. We blew up the opium.
They did blow up the bridge. Yeah, they blew up the bridge on the way.
Oh, they
way
did blow
over.
up. I forgot
He
about
dropped a
this.
bomb too. He did
James
a bomb.
Bond blows up a bridge. And then the Taliban also cheer for that too. They're like, we did
They
it.
were
We
excited,
blew up the Russian
They blew up
thing.
the bridge, yeah.
That won't come back to haunt us
No.
in several years.
No.
Anyway,
Look, at least there wasn't a message at the end of the movie, like in Rambo 3.
yeah.
You know?
And then keep on fighting.
Yeah.
Afghani.
We have
boys.
faith in you.
So, anyway, so James Bond is like, we did it. We secured the opium. It's gone. We blew it up. Let's get out of here. So James Bond then goes to
The general.
the general. He goes to his compound, and there's he looks at all these wax figures of the people, the
dictators
the
and fascists in general.
terrible
So
people
why?
over the years. You know, there'd be a couple new boys in there
would be, there
nowadays.
would be.
Not
Many
to
would
get
say-
not to get political.
Hey.
Maybe Kim Jong-un would be in there.
Oh, yeah,
Kim
sure,
Jong-un
yeah,
would be in
yeah,
there.
that's who I was
Yeah, that's
thinking,
the
yeah.
maybe Putin would be in there.
Yeah,
I don't know.
maybe, yeah,
I mean,
maybe,
although
yeah.
this guy's a Russian, he's got like this weird Russian, like, it's not a Russian uniform and it's not an American uniform, but it's close to the Russian uniform. It's its own symbol.
This was a warning of what would happen if we became friends.
We became pals. We're giving him the guns, don't you worry. And this guy's just like playing with his little toys.
Which, in all honesty, I would love a set like that because it looks really cool.
And they're like, he's like, yeah. And James Bond like holds a gun to him. He's like, yeah, I'm just playing out this battle how I think I would have won it. It's like, all right, calm down. And he presses a button, and then this gun drawer opens up and knocks James' gun in the knees. And James is like, my knees. And he falls over. And I was like, really, James? That's... I guess the shin is the most vulnerable
shin is
piece
very
of your
vulnerable,
body.
yeah.
And he just falls on the ground, and the guy takes out this big
Experimental
block.
gun. It's like an experimental.
Yeah, it's got
That's what they would call
this
it.
like shield on the front of it, and it's like plexiglass. It looks like plexiglass
Pretty much,
was
yeah.
taped to a gun.
Yeah, pretty much.
And speaking of guns in this movie, James Bond either has the largest gun you've ever seen or the tiniest gun you've ever seen.
It's the Walther or the
There's no in between.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, like a lot of guns in this movie just look like a block of wood that was just
Cubism.
a little carved.
Yeah.
It's just like, there's a trigger.
Yeah.
And so James kind of has this like hide and go seek match with this guy.
One of the more exciting shootouts, I think.
Yeah,
of
it's
the Bond
it's
movies.
fun. It's fun as he turns off the lights of this guy's like man cave, basically.
Yeah.
He hides around the corner and he slaps his little speaker to it.
Yep.
Does his little whistle. There's a to it, and it
Good,
explodes.
good impression.
This pillar just kind of falls on the American
Yeah, the
general guy, and he just gets impaled by his little soldiers. And I was like, wow, that was
fast.
a bit anticlimactic.
It was, no, it was.
I thought there was going to be. I mean, there's been plenty of explosion throughout this movie.
There's
but
not much else they could do.
I thought he was gonna like shoot him in the head. Nah, just stabbed by little tiny guys. And then Felix Leiter comes in and he's like, hey, Jonathan Rhys Davies is here.
back, yeah.
And the defector is here. And he goes, Jonathan Rhys Davies, I thought you were dead. So sorry. And Felix Leiter's like, get him out of here. Then Jonathan Rhys Davies basically puts the defector in a Moscow prison.
Well, body bag, diplomatic bag is what he calls it.
Yeah.
Well, like it's implied.
Yeah, they killed him.
It's implied.
They killed him off screen.
Too many deaths in this movie to do it on screen, you know?
Sometime later, we cut to Kara. She's playing the cello in this big Vienna concert, and she's got the bullet hole. So it's the same cello that James Bond had
Saved them.
saved and almost destroyed.
Yeah.
Skiing down a mountain with. Intermission happens. She leaves the performance after it's done. Not decides, but she walks into the back of the theater, and all our friends from the movie are here. We see Jonathan Rhys Davies, and then the door opens up and it swings open. It's all our Taliban friends. And they're like, "Oh my God, you're so beautiful! What a beautiful performance! We can't believe we missed this. We're so sorry. We're late. We were solving some problems." And she was like,
issues.
"My best friends, the Taliban."
Basically.
You know what? No skin off your back. It's totally fine. But where's James? And so she goes back to her dressing room. She sees 2 martinis on the side, and she goes, my boy's here. And he appears off to the side, and he grabs her, and he gives her a little smooch, and they sit down on a couch, and then they pan away.
Very romantic.
They're very romantic. Then the credits start to roll, and that's the living daylights.
If there was a man I could dream of,
It's an interesting movie. I had a fun time. Like as we mentioned before, it's more serious than I thought it was going to be. But it's also not as serious. Like it's also silly and fun. Like it is a fun movie. And I didn't expect the Taliban twist. I'll be honest with you.
No, and I prepared you for it. I was like, just so you know,
Something's gonna happen.
This movie was is a product of the
era.
Rambo era, you know.
James Bond, as we were mentioning before the podcast, where is always either like sometimes it sets a trend,
Sort of,
where
yeah.
it's like it sets it created the spy
trend, the action trend.
Yeah, but also it's also a genre, a series that is always chasing after something else.
They chase the trend a lot, and that's sometimes because Bond movies aren't put out as frequently as they used to be.
Mm-hmm.
It's harder for them to catch up to trends. So like when John Wick and Kingsman kind of reshaped the action scene, Spectre did not follow that because they had already been in production when those 2 movies came out.
Yeah.
So when it came out, people were very disappointed by it because it's very dated in terms of the action. But No Time to Die kind of does follow that suit.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's cool, it works, the action's great in that, but also, what will they do now?
What will the future hold?
What will they chase?
For the James Bond?
Will James Bond be a superhero franchise now?
It could be.
Probably.
I mean, could be toys, could be Barbie, could be Minecraft.
That's true. That's true.
Could be, who knows
It's
where
IP.
we're going. It's going to be IP. We're going to see a lot of people. We might see a Felix Leiter spinoff. We might see a Moneypenny spinoff, a Q, an M.
Yep.
We might see a Kara spinoff.
We might. Who was it that I said we wanted? Oh yeah, we wanted a spin-off of the one Russian lady.
The Russian lady
We wanted a spin-off of her.
at the start of the movie. What's she been up to? Amazon
Oh,
with that
so
list.
1987, man. That's a lot of seasons they could get in there.
So I'm reading here on Wikipedia that this movie was initially pitched to be a prequel, trying to
Yes.
start the whole franchise over again because Roger Moore was
A little old.
60
He was 60. He was 60.
years old?
He was like 59. About 60. when he finished it.
For what was his last one?
A View to a Kill.
View to Kill. And you said he was paid like something like $2.5 million to come back for that one. And Timothy Dalton was kind of one of the initial choices to replace Connery back in the day.
But he didn't want to do it because he felt like Connery was too cool and too much of a trendsetter. And Lazenby failed so hard. But then Moore did it.
And then Moore did it for
A lot of years.
15 years.
15 years, yeah.
And then he only did, poor Dalton only did two. And so he did
legal problems.
this one and then the
License
License to Kill. And you said that one's kind of crazy.
License to Kill is bananas. I like License to Kill better every time I watch it. The script is kind of sloppy, but it's very gritty, very Dalton, very much in line with that Bond book thing. It's like Live and Let Die the book. Because Live and Let Die the book is more like License to Kill. But anyway, there's like one Miami Vice going on too. It's a whole thing. Not as well received as Living Daylights, as you may imagine.
Yeah.
Also the first PG-13.
Oh, the License to Kill.
Yeah, which they pushed the limits very hard on that.
So this movie had a budget of $40 million.
Yep.
And it made $191.2 million.
Yes.
And this is an 87, so that's great.
Very profitable.
That's a
franchise.
fantastic,
Yep.
fantastic choice. I'm going to look up, what was the previous one?
A View to a Kill.
A View to Kill. And that one, which was only 2 years prior,
Yeah.
it cost 30 and made 152. So still
Bond is
profitable.
always profitable. Bond will always be profitable.
Yeah.
It's
I was just
how
seeing,
good are the profits.
yeah, I was like, what was the drop off? And it was an improvement. So people were excited to see a new Bond and kind of taking it in a different, less silly direction. Yeah. I don't know if a prequel would have worked back then.
I don't think so. Frankly, I don't think it would work now.
I mean,
That's a whole different story.
I mean, they kind of have to.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert
Rebooted it.
for,
Yeah, spoiler alert. If you haven't seen No Time
for
to Die.
No Time to Die. James Bond explodes, and not in a way where he could ever come back. He is nuked to death.
Yeah, no, he is, yeah.
And every atom of his body is eviscerated.
And anything of his remains dies of COVID.
Yeah.
Or whatever thing he was injected with.
So there's no coming back for the previous James Bond or any of these James Bonds even.
Well, they're saying there was a rumor. I don't know if it's true. And frankly, by the time this podcast comes out, we may know. But there was a rumor. So Craig's entire lineup is its own thing. Like it's its own contained arc.
Yeah.
So technically the last Bond movie is Die Another Day. Which is kind of sad when you think about it. But they might just pick up there. And it'll just be the same guy.
That would be interesting.
Well,
if
I
they
heard-
just kind of just like, there he is again.
Yeah. Which I mean, I wouldn't mind honestly, but I also heard, I think it's from you actually, that they might make it like a 1963 reboot, like they reboot Back to the Cold War.
Yeah, I had heard. I mean, and my
Maybe
sources are nothing, or the internet.
I definitely read somewhere as
where
well.
where like they might want to take it back to like the 60s, which
I hope they don't.
I mean, yeah, it's you would rather it stays
Modern. Yeah. That's what Bond is.
yeah.
It's a sign of the times.
And I don't know. I'm glad I'm not in charge of this franchise. It seems like no matter
It's
what
in
you
great
do,
hands. Don't even worry.
it's in great
man.
hands
Don't even worry.
with our good pals at Amazon.com. Please pay me.
Yeah, actually, I wasn't kidding. I was being very serious, guys.
I would love money from Amazon. So let's talk about the monkeys in this movie.
Yes.
The whole point of this podcast.
Yes.
So the monkeys are in maybe 15 seconds of screen time.
Yeah, pretty much.
Maybe 20.
Pretty much.
They're only in the opening scene, but they are a fun presence to kind of set the tone and the kind of atmosphere. I do think it's funny that they just immediately jump or dive out of the way.
Yeah.
There's kind of, it's an interesting choice to include them even in the movie at all, because they don't add anything to the story. They're just kind of like a prop for the set piece.
Pretty much.
Which I guess brings us to one of my other favorite questions to ask is like, what happens if the monkey was removed from the movie? and you nothing. Everything is the
Nothing,
same.
Although I'm looking at this right here. This
Yeah.
is, see, if you really love James Bond, you'll find some weird websites.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the 007 Museum.
Okay.
.com. The Rock is inhabited by Barbary apes, which are actually monkeys. Those are the monkeys we saw.
Sure.
They're the only monkeys native to Europe. And the inevitable legend has it that once the apes leave, the British will leave. So there's a little bit of a something in there,
Look
right?
at
If the
that.
monkeys are jumping away and the British are kind of leaving Gibraltar.
Wow. Who knew?
Yeah.
Who knew the monkeys would be deeper than
This movie's deep, guys.
This movie's deep.
It's a Cold War thriller. It's not supposed to make sense.
That's really funny. The monkeys are jumping out of the way. The monkeys are representative of the British people leaving Gibraltar.
At
Interesting.
least James Bond.
Fascinating. Well, there you have it. Well, do you have any other fun facts or stories about this? I mean, you're my resident James Bond expert.
I
You've
am.
seen every James Bond film probably several times.
I've seen every James Bond film at least 3.
At least 3 times.
At least 3 times each.
And you've read most of the books.
Read most of
you
the
said.
books, yep.
And you've played almost all the video
I've
games.
played almost all besides From Russia with Love.
And have you read the comic books? Have you read?
I have not read the comic books. I'll get there eventually, but I'm enjoying taking my time on the Flemings. 'Cause that's,
the source,
the real stuff.
Yeah.
But I'll get there. I'll read Listen. I'll read The Young Bond. I'll do all of them because I'd rather spend my time reading that than like the Clancy stuff now. So I'll sink my time into that. But right now, I'm taking my time on Fleming. But I am your resident Bond expert. I'm everyone's resident Bond expert, actually.
Yeah, if you have a question about James Bond, you have like an encyclopedic knowledge.
Yeah, I
of
do.
this
I do.
stuff.
Actually, I've had friends like actually reach out to me when they're doing crossword puzzles to ask me for answers because they'll be like, "Oh, this movie's called What of Solace? Quantum," and I'll answer any time of day. Text me at 3 in the morning, I'll answer it. If it's Bond, I'm there.
So, I'll ask you this: since we're low on monkey content here, there's only 20 seconds of monkey in this movie.
Yeah.
How would you rank? What's your personal ranking of all of the James Bonds?
Of all the Bonds, monkeys excluded.
Monkeys excluded. We're all apes in a way.
That's true. That's true. I would say number 1, Dalton.
So he's your favorite.
Number 1, Dalton, favorite Bond. Moore and Connery both tie for various reasons. Like Connery is ready for the 60s and he's a trendsetter and there's a distinct 60s vibe that I really like. But I am partial to the 70s and Moonraker is an awesome movie. I will die on this hill. Guys, Moonraker is great. And also my favorite movie of all time is The Spy Who Loved Me, which is Roger Moore. So I have to put him on that level, which to a lot of film fans is sacrilegious, but nah. Moore and Connery both rock. Both are my number 2. Brosnan, actually, this is a hot take, not as awesome to me as he was when I was 12. Craig, I have a little more respect for his run now that I'm a little older. And I understand Casino Royale is a 1-to-1 of the book. It's great. Craig and Brosnan, yeah, they change, but I'll say for the sake of this one, Craig will be at number 4.
4.
And then Brosnan. And it's only because Brosnan plays it like an amalgamation of Connery and Moore. It's not really original. It's not a whole ton of original. I think his movies are great. Like GoldenEye is a fantastic idea. Tomorrow Never Dies is a fantastic idea. But Brosnan himself, kind of just a combo. Not as original.
Yeah, he's not. He's riffing on what other people have done instead of doing his own take.
Die Another Day actually is probably his most original run, and I mean everyone hates that movie, so unfortunate. But yeah, that'd be my take there. And then Lazenby last. It's not that I don't like Lazenby, it's just he only had one run in it, and it was such a tonal shift from Connery that he was kind of destined to fail. He's a nobody. You know, who is this guy?
Let's just say, for the sake, you're Sarah Finn Hawley. You're casting the next James Bond. Who's your top pick? Who's your
Not
top
Josh O'Connor. Everybody wants Josh O'Connor, white boy of the month. No, I don't want him. I want Jonathan Bailey. Now, guys, hear me out.
from Wicked?
Have you seen a picture of this guy? He would be fantastic. He looks just like him. He looks like Bond. Also, I have a rule. James Bond cannot be shorter than 5'10". He cannot be taller than 6 foot, like 2.5, 6'3". And that's because if he was taller than that, you would recognize him anywhere. You'd already kind of recognize him anywhere, but if he's really tall, you'll recognize him. If he's really short, you'd also recognize him. And Tom Cruise already has claim on that title for Mission Impossible, so it wouldn't work out. Jonathan Bailey fits that perfectly.
How tall is Jonathan Bailey?
I don't know, like 5'11". I don't actually know.
So Jonathan Bailey plays
Fiyero
in Wicked, and he's going to be in the upcoming Jurassic World movie.
He's 5'11", I was right.
He's 5'11".
Dude, I know.
36 years old, prime
age.
Yeah, I'm looking at him right now. He could be James Bond. He's British, right?
He's British, yeah.
That checks a box.
He is. But I talked about this with a friend, though, recently, but he's gay. I know that Amazon executives are, like, concerned about that because they want him to be a chauvinistic. They want to go back to that. But I would love the shift. I would love to see something different because he's got the look.
Yeah,
he's got the look.
Look him up or watch Wicked.
Yeah.
He's great in Wicked. And he wouldn't be the first singing and dancing Bond.
He would. And I would
No, he wouldn't.
Well, Sean Connery technically dances in Never Say Never Again. But
so Sean Connery dances. Pierce Brosnan sings in Mamma Mia.
That's true. He does.
And Mamma Mia too.
That's true. Well, I mean, technically, Sean Connery sings in Darby O'Gill and the Little People. That's a Disney movie. If anybody's ever seen that.
There you go. Listen.
But
and has Daniel Craig done a musical? I don't know.
Probably. That guy loves doing all kinds of kooky stuff. So
he's in his weird era.
He's in his cleanse from
He's
Bond.
like, let's do something crazy.
It'll probably be. This is my prediction. And who knows? By the time this podcast comes out, we might already know. This is my prediction. It will be Josh O'Connor because Amy Pascal produced Challengers, and he seems like a pretty nice guy. So my guess is she'll want to do him a favor. But I know it was Aaron Taylor Johnson talk as well. I don't really rock with that one either. It's a little too rough looking.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if you've ever seen a little movie called Craven the Hunter, but boy, oh boy. It's not a Bond audition in any capacity, but he's a trooper. I'll give him that.
Oh yeah,
he's a big trooper.
I love Dev Patel. I think, to be honest, though, Dev Patel, his career is too lucrative right now. He is able to play so many different roles, doing so many different things that I wouldn't want to see him pigeonhole himself as Bond because that'll be years of his life gone. So that's probably for the best.
I don't know if you know about this. This is James Bond talk at this point.
It is.
But did you know? I mentioned it before. That a little movie called Uncharted started out as a pitch from Tom Holland as a secret young James Bond movie.
I did know.
And at the very end, he says, "My name is Bond, James Bond," and they were like, "No, that's awful, Tom. Actually, what if you do Uncharted?" He was like, "I'll take it. I'll do it."
And if you watch Uncharted, you'll know why that Bond thing should never happen. Ever. I did campaign for Alex Pettyfer for a while. You ever seen him? He's in the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare.
Okay, yeah.
Did you watch that movie?
Yes, I did see that movie.
I like that movie a lot.
No one's seen that movie, though.
No, it's true.
So,
I mention it, people go, what?
People listening, you've not seen this movie.
But you should.
And you don't know this man.
But you should. But Alex Pettyfer, he was in, well, some people might know him because he was in this romance movie back in like 2010.
Uh-huh.
I don't remember what it was called, but it was kind of a crazy movie. I watched it last year. I would not recommend it. I think the future looks a little dire for Bond, but I think the future's always looked dire for Bond, so maybe it'll be good.
Bond's always on the back foot.
Yeah.
Everyone's always like, is this the end? It's never the end.
It's never the end. I think we'll get a couple of good video games. I told you this earlier. I think it'll be like The Force Awakens. You know, we'll get a fine movie from Amazon, and then it'll all go downhill from there. I'm sorry. Andor's great, guys, but it took us a long time to get to Andor. From Force Awakens to Andor.
Don't worry, we'll get James Bond's Andor.
Yeah. Will we though?
Lighter. We'll get lighter.
Lighter, yeah. Yeah, but it doesn't work. I mean, it just doesn't work. Who is Felix Leiter if not James Bond's friend? Andor has nothing to do with Luke Skywalker. You know what I mean? No, Luke Skywalker's like, I wonder what my buddy Cassian Andor's doing. That never happened.
Maybe we'll get like a 005.
That's like a
different guy.
Well, that's like GoldenEye.
Yeah.
Was it 008?
Double
or
eight.
006?
Yeah.
One of them.
We'll get a new 00.
Yeah,
It'll be the
yeah.
00 cinematic universe, and
Maybe Tom Holland will be one of them.
and Tom Holland could be 001, the smallest one,
Smallest one, the original.
He's the OG 00.
Oh.
And
Guys, we're in the future has never been brighter.
for James Bond content. Okay, so let's ask the main question here.
Of course.
Monkey see, monkey do, or monkey see, monkey don't?
All right, so I want to keep my integrity when it comes to monkeys in movies.
Sure.
If you are watching a movie for the monkeys, monkey don't see. The monkeys are in this for 2 seconds. Now, if you want to see a good movie, you want to see a cool spy action movie, monkey see this tonight.
See. I would agree. It's a monkey see. I don't particularly know if this is my favorite James Bond movie,
Fair.
but I also haven't seen them all.
That's fair.
But definitely check it out. I think it's definitely underrated.
Yes.
It's definitely one of them that probably people haven't seen
Yes.
as much because it's from this Dalton era.
Yeah.
So yeah, monkey see. Or anything else you want to plug in terms of James Bond stuff?
Like, for terms of James Bond stuff?
Or
No.
yourself?
Myself, what do I have going on right now? Again, don't know when this is coming out, but I got a fun little project. Mike and I are working on it together.
Yes.
It's called Project Valinsky, and check that out when it happens.
It has James Bond vibes
It has
to it.
very heavy James. In fact, yeah, The Living Daylights played a huge inspiration. Actually, the entire... I said this. This is my last thing.
Yeah.
I say more from 1973 to Dalton in 1989. That is like this guy's arc. So yeah, be able to look out for that when it happens.
Yeah,
Some
well,
cool stuff coming.
Project Valinsky. And you said Octopussy. We'll have to watch that
Yeah.
at some point. So if you want to follow me on the socials, I am at CinemonkeyPod on Instagram. You could send me an email at cinemonkeypod@gmail.com if you have questions. No one ever does, but if you have a question for Thomas regarding anything James Bond, send that over to me, and I'll ask him and I'll email you back. When we do Octopussy, we could answer a bunch of James Bond questions if you have them. I want to thank Elias for our logo. I want to thank you all for listening. Thomas, how should we take this out?
I was debating doing like a cover of the Aha song. It's like Cinemonkey, so like that, or just like a James Bondy kind of.
All right, I like that. I mean, you already kind of did it. All right, well, thank you. Well,
Have a good one, everyone.
have a good one. See you. Bye.